Basically, there's a doomsday device on Crush to a big pop. Then they hit Crush with a 2x4 and they get the pin to end the match. So the Legion of Doom and Ahmed Johnson get the victory.
And I could be more happy the fact that you just said that even your notes for it were a bit of a mess, and because that summed up this match. Today is one of those days where we've just had so much positivity talking about, the Brett and Steve Austin match that I almost don't want to bring it down. But this match was just such a travesty. Like, it was awful. The camera work and where everybody was trying to get the shots for the guys, it was just awful. I mean, okay, it was a 6-man, sort of street fight, so it was pandemonium. I'll give them a little bit of credit. The crowd loved it. They definitely ate it up, and I definitely think for the live audience, this worked. And at the end of the day, that's that's who you're performing for. It is mainly for your live crowd. So kudos to them for that. But there were so many things in this match happening that you didn't know what was going on because the camera missed it or didn't catch it. There was table spots where you didn't see people go through. At one point, you just heard a sound and apparently Farouk's been knocked off the ring apron, and then they're saying that on commentary. Then okay, well, where is he? And then they go back to on a replay. Oh, there he is. There's a trash can shot you hear. At one point, they're concentrating on the ring, and all you hear is the fire extinguisher going around the outside with one of the Road Warriors, using the fire extinguisher. This really, really hurt my overall enjoyment of the show. I've got to be honest, because I was on a great time with this show up until this point, and this really was a big come down for me because I just felt it was a mess start to finish. And like I said, the camera work really didn't help this. Technically, they really let the side down.
That's interesting, because I've got a slightly different... Well, actually, no, I haven't got much of a different thing to you, because I do agree the camera work was dreadful. The direction ultimately was terrible. It wasn't catching what it needed to catch. And that was, I guess, partially down to the messiness of the match. But the messiness of the match appeals to me in this instance, because, again, it didn't really happen. This is the first time we see anything like this on a WrestleMania up to this point. And certainly, in general, in WWE, you didn't see matches like this at all. Now, there have been plenty since of big messes, big hardcore battles where people just chuck everything at each other, hit each other with chairs, kendo sticks, tables, the lot. Didn't used to happen at all at this time. And so this did feel like a happening. And that's why the crowd are so into it, because they're just like, wow, this is mad. This is absolutely unlike anything I've ever seen. And if they were able to be disciplined about this going forward and not use this kind of match more than once every couple of years, they'd get the same results, I think, because it would be like, wow, it's just so different, it's so weird, it's so crazy, everything's going on. But they have overdone it now, and it's just a bit of a, if you watch it in the context of having seen all of those kind of hardcore title matches where there were like hardcore battle royals and people just running around hitting people with stuff, in that context it makes it look just another one of those. But it didn't feel like that at the time, and it goes to that thing that me and Tom were saying about the expectations. That's why we watched these last 3 matches, because the Bret Hart Steve Austin match and this just stood out again. I think personally, anyway, for me, that's what that happened. The Nation of Domination at the time are Farouk, Savio Vega and Crush, but they've also got with him D'Lo Brown, they've also got PG-13, JC Ice and Wolfie D. They've also got Clarence Mason, who'd been a manager prior to that of Owen Hart and David Boy Smith, in fact, and had been Jim Cornette's attorney as well before that point. So there's all kinds of people as well on the Nation side. It's not just the 3 of them. There's a whole bunch of people. I personally find it quite fun. It's hard to give it a massive artistic thumbs up as a match, but I think it's, as a spectacle, especially at the time, it worked really well. Tom?
Yeah, this is after the match that we've just watched, and it is a completely different kind of spectacle. But I'm kind of with Tinky on this one, because it's not a great match, and you're right, Matt. Some of the production values on it and the direction is all over the shop. I thought to myself, this is the sort of match that you would, at least this sort of match that I would imagine happening in like NWA. So the Nation come out to the classic "We Are the Nation of Domination." It's a very croaky rapper over the top, just going "Bah, the Nation of Domination."
That was PG-13, Wolfie D and JC Ice doing their rapping.
Who are they? I have no idea.
They were a tag team in USWA for a long time, and JC Ice is the son. I did this trivia many moons ago when we covered, I think it must have been an early NWA show.
Yeah.
Bill Dundee. He's Bill Dundee's son, and that's who they are.
You sure he's not Vanilla's son?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, it was nice to see D'Lo Brown in a suit. It was always nice to see him. I always remember popping as a youngster, as a youth, as a 13-year-old, to Ahmed Johnson, not only wearing all the multiple shoulder pads across his thighs, but also the LOD shoulder pads. And I did think to myself, why can these idiots taking these shoulder pads off if they're about to get involved in the street fight? Just running and spike people. There's a bit of hilarity where the Nation keeps saying they're going to hit you with everything but the kitchen sink, and the Legion of Doom bring down a kitchen sink. Oh, JR is like, I brought everything down but the kitchen sink, and then Vince is like, well, they brought down the kitchen sink, and does his yucky laugh. It's a fucking mess, but it's quite nice because big Legion LOD chants, because obviously they're in Chicago. There's a huge pop when Ahmed Johnson punches Clarence Mason, which got an enormous pop. And I need to make a revision to who my MVP is, because I said Austin earlier. I think I got too excited. My MVP is Farouk, because he takes some extraordinary bumps in this match for such a big guy. He takes a slam through a table onto 2 monitors, which looks like agony. He takes a huge bump off the second rope onto the outside flat back bump, which is really big. He takes the world's pile driver through a table by Animal in the Legion of Doom. Like, it's just, I was like, fair play to Farouk. He's putting everything into this, and I love the promo that they do at the beginning, that he does at the beginning, kind of basically saying like they're gonna beat up the Road Warriors, which again I thought was interesting because he called them the Road Warriors rather than the Legion of Doom. The body slam that he takes from Ahmed Johnson is absolutely incredible. There's loads of fire extinguisher action going on. There's about 4 or 5 fire extinguishers in this, and there's a bit where Hawk is just walking around the ring just spraying it, having a lovely time. The babyfaces actually win, not after a Doomsday device, but I think Ahmed Johnson and Animal run holding a 2x4 and run over chains with it. That's actually the crap thing that wins the match.
Crush, not chains.
Yeah,
Crush.
Crush, sorry, yeah. Speaking of Crush, actually, I saw a thing appeared on Twitter the other day, and it's the debut of Bryan Adams in WCW, and nobody knows who he is. It's tremendous, and the commentators are like, that's Bryan Adams. We know him as Bryan Adams. And then he immediately comes in, says how much he loves Bret Hart, turns on him, joins the NWO, and then nothing happens for the rest of the storyline. So yeah, go on, Crush.
To be fair, I sort of did a bit of reading up on the show afterwards, and that does seem to be the general consensus that that was the first time you sort of see this type of match. So that is fair. But yeah, as somebody who's seen a lot of them, no, this one's not going to be remembered fondly by me.